بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الصلاة والسلام على سيد الخلق نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. بداية في عندي 3 تحايا ودي أرسلها. التحية الأولى للمنظمين وعلى رأسهم الدكتور محمد السويل والدكتور عثمان والدكتور خالد السبتي. التحية الثانية لجمعية التراخيص الدولية فرع الدول العربية على دعوتي للمؤتمر. والتحية الثالثة للمترجمين. من المحاضرات اللي شفتها أمس واليوم صراحة البارح الساعة 9 دخلت الفندق واحترت وش اللي أقدم لكم إياه اليوم. فالساعة 10:30 أمس غيرت المحاضرة كلها. فاللي بتشوفوه اليوم مختلف عن اللي جيت أبى أقدم لكم إياه. وتسمحوا لي أبى أقلب الحين الكمبيوتر عشان حييت أنا المترجمين عندهم اليوم مهمة صعبة. بيترجمون من العربي للإنجليزي من الإنجليزي للعربي وشوي بالألماني. طيب فعشان كذا أعطيتكم التحية. إذا قلب الكمبيوتر عندي من العربي للإنجليزي أو الإنجليزي للعربي شوي تحملوني. فبتكلم بالإنجليزي وبتجدون بعض التعريف المحاضرة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هذا عنوان المحاضرة Transforming Ourselves Through Intellectual Power. إذا كان في رسالة واحدة ودي أوصلها أباكم تذكرون معادلة أبى أعرج عليها عدة مرات اللي هي the sum of e's equals 3 the sum of t's equal 3e's. وبتعرفون الحين معنى ال 3 t's. التي الأولى إيش؟ التي الثانية والثالثة وبعدين الإي E1 E2 E3. إذا ذكرتوا هذه أعتقد أن المعادلة هذه تنطبق في الحياة، تنطبق على أي شركة، تنطبق على أي منظومة، تنطبق على أي جامعة في العالم وليس هنا. وهذا الكوبي رايت لأرامكو السعودية. المحاور اللي بتكلم فيها 4 محاور. I will start with introduction and I will share with you the intellectual power, the definition. Then I will go describe the detail of these T's. Then I will ask you why we have been focusing on the T's. Then I will go to the second initiative, which is the innovation as stated by Saudi Aramco. Then we'll go with the intellectual power initiative, and I will share with you some detail about the collaboration with the university, and then I will conclude, inshallah. So what is the definition of intellectual power? This is the first word that I would like you to remember, IP. It's not intellectual property, it's intellectual power. It consists of 3 T's. And by the way, this sits in a university, in an office, at home, as well as the biggest organization in the world. If they use the recipe that I'm addressing over here, they can almost address the issue of innovation, IP, and what relates to the areas of commercialization. So when we talk about intellectual power, we talk about talent. This is me, you, and everybody, and everything that we own, team, and technology. Let me define each one of them in detail. When we talk about talent, we talk about our individual capacity. We talk about ourselves. We talk about the education, the certificate, the courses, the learning, the behavior, the know-how, everything we own here. This is the human talent. The problem is that this talent, if you are within an organization, after 4 o'clock, it leaves with the employee. The employee learns so much within a company or within an organization, but that knowledge sits with him, and as he leaves the office, that information, that knowledge, that know-how leaves with him. And that's problematic. Now the second T is teamwork. Teamwork, it relates to collaboration. Collaboration with the university, collaboration with friends, collaboration with colleagues within the entity. Everything relates to 2 people and more. And again, the problem is that some of the collaboration could belong to the organization, but most of it does not. Because it really deals with me and you, me with different groups, and if it's not really structured in such a way, the value of such an important T does not capitalize within the organization. Now the third part, which is the technology, and this is the patent, this is the report, this is a process that have been written, this is a software, anything that has been written and could be touched at any time or identified is a technology, something that is ملموس, محسوس. The first part, which is the human capital, والطاقة البشرية, it sits within us. And it belongs to us. Unless you translate everything that people has into some sort of a document that you can value and gain something out of it, it will be tough for the organization. So these are the 3 T's. As I said, the technology is those that are really tangible, that you can either touch, feel, or sell, or value. Now, why these T's are important? The problem is, if you look at any balance sheet of any organization, you will never see intellectual property as part of their balance sheet. Most likely, you're not going to see trademark. Yes, they have terminology as goodwill and what have you. But if I want to talk about the Arab country or Saudi Arabia, that terminology does not exist whatsoever. It exists probably with certain organizations. And let me give you a reflection to this. Some of the stock market companies, when they started, you ask yourself why they started so high. For example, Yansab at one time, the stock market, although I think at that time it was 50 riyal, when it opened 500 and went to 1,000 riyal. And the question is, why this difference between the real value, the 50, versus the 1,000 when the IPO started? And maybe that relates to where's this Yansab in relation to Sabiq and how successful it can be in the future. So there is a tangible value that nobody have written it in any piece of paper or in a balance sheet. Now, again, that's an issue. And this is why we, within Saudi Aramco, we look at this from different perspective. Dr. Sahar, I will give you a copy of this presentation completely. I want you to appreciate the history of Saudi Aramco in the past at least 75 years. In the early 40s, 50s, 60s, you will see that Saudi Aramco have put too much emphasis on the infrastructure. They built railways, they built TVs, they built community within, so it was more focused on building the talent. In the 30 years after that, the focus was more on the relationship. We started building gas plants, we started bringing companies from the outside and start building more of the infrastructure from an industrial point of view. So the first 30 years were about human, the later 30 years was about relationship. We brought universities, we brought companies from the outside into the country. Now, starting from the 2000, we saw that there is a gap from where we were and where we should be. We saw that the talent and the teamwork or the collaboration have not been structured in such a way that we can create value. So there was a gap. So we ask ourselves, what is the future need? And what are, in terms of a process and in terms of workforce? And we came up with a new initiative where we started building now patents. We started building new technologies that address specific problem. And this is something about Saudi Aramco that in a way it starts unique. We do not invent for invention. We normally invent to solve a problem. So every patent or invention that have been created, it's really created to address an issue that we have, a problem that we have. And therefore, the use of it is absolutely 100%. If we are to patent every invention that we come up, or scientists come up, or engineers come up with, we really have a large portfolio. But we really only patent those areas that addresses a problem that we face. And in solving the problem, we come up with this new invention. And for me to protect my right for using this invention in my operation, I have to go ahead and protect it. So nobody comes, take this invention, register it in his name, then he come and sue me and say, stop doing this because this now belongs to me, regardless who invented it first. So in the 2000, 2005, we were focused more on the initiative. 2005, 2010, we started now patenting so many of these inventions. To date, we have about 176 patents granted. Granted means حصلنا عليها. And we have about 450 patents in the process, and we hope to get them within the next 2-3 years. So the total within 2-3 years, inshallah, will be about 650 patents belonging to Saudi Aramco. Now again, the issue is how can you convert the human capital, the teamwork and the collaboration into structural capital? We came up with a new initiative over here called intellectual power or intellectual capital. And again, this is the case where we started in early 2000 with creating حماية الملكية الفكرية. Then we went with the منظومة الابتكار. Then we started valuing ولا نقيم الاختراعات الموجودة في أرامكو السعودية. And then we start doing mapping. In so many sense, before we spend any money in doing any research, we try to find everything that exists worldwide and try to build upon it. So you do not reinvent the wheel or do something that's already been done. So the search engine, to the comment that I made yesterday, I believe, where I said when we invent, the success rate is almost 98%, just because we do so much search earlier on, then when we present our invention, we have already did most of the work that is done by the patent examiner, and maybe more. Now, we developed an innovation initiative that deals with creating new ideas, maximizing productivity, effectiveness, and generate wealth, and meet the future challenges of the company and the country. This is the initiative or منظومة الابتكار. I'm not going to go into detail, but I'll share with you a few glimpses of it. It's really simple that anybody in the company have the right to submit any idea that he wants all the way to the president without going through any supervisor. And it is mandated that somebody have to answer him. Now, when he submits an idea to somebody in the company, he's submitting an idea to somebody high in the company that person runs a budget around $300 million, yani 1 billion riyal, and he have to answer to that employee. And if he does not answer in 2 months, that idea jumps to the level higher than this manager. And if that manager does not, he have to report to us as a corporate committee. So no filtering, maintain communication with the submitter, we encourage knowledge sharing, we develop ideas into solution, and we protect and collect idea company-wide. Now this is the portal, this is how the website relate to. Ideas submitted, reviewed, implemented, valued, and then recognize the employee. And this is to address new challenges within the company. This is a new term that we have just developed. Now this is the website itself. You can submit an idea, you can go to the idea bank and look for other ideas that may interest you, or you can review your own idea, or you can submit idea on challenges. Tahaddi, we put some sort of tahaddiyat, 1 or 2 every year, and employees submit ideas to these challenges specifically. And then we recognize the winners, and they have prizes like 200,000 riyal for the first prize, and 150,000 riyal for the second prize. This is innovation, something that you submit, and it addresses a problem that we have within the company. And of course, this is the most popular idea. You'll see some of these ideas have been visited more than 2,000 or 3,000 times, which means that the idea is really important, that lots of engineers and scientists visit these ideas. Now again, this is the details. So you submit an idea, you select, first of all, who you want to submit your idea to, and then you give the detail of the idea. Then the system, thank you, your idea has been submitted, the number of idea is such and such and such, and this number stays with you for your life with the company. It never change. Nobody delete any idea whatsoever, except probably one or 2 ideas that have used aggressive kind of language. Otherwise, your idea stays with you for your career and even afterwards. Now this is the innovation. This is the website. It has more information that allows scientists, engineers, and any employee in the company to explore what innovation is all about. Now, this is the number of ideas that have been submitted to the system. Every year, more than 10,000 ideas submitted. To date, we have 107,000 ideas submitted by employees. This is the number of employees participating. You'll see in 2011, 6,000 employees participated in submitting ideas. Some of them submitted one idea, some of them submitted 2. But the total number of ideas to date is about 107,000 ideas. Now, of those are that been implemented. You will know 2011, 680 ideas been implemented. Means that they are innovative solution and they had an application in the field. To date, we have about 5,000 ideas that have been approved and implemented in the operation of the 107,000. And that's a really good percent in the history of industry. These are some of the pictures of people who submitted ideas and they be recognized by award and by monetary prizes. Some of them. Now this is the part of innovation. Now I'll share with you the IP or the intellectual power It is to expand, develop intellectual power to create value-adding solution. And again, these are the 3 T's. This is how you convert talent, teamwork into technology. So you take the knowledge that exists within the brain and you convert it to something substantial, something tangible that you can go ahead and put a dollar value on and you can sell it to someone, or license it with someone, or cross-license it with someone. And the initiative that we have developed in this, and this is very specific, it's like a cookbook. You take these steps with the details, with the KPI, with the parameters, and you can implement it almost everywhere within the organization. This is the detail. You align human needs. For example, if you as an organization, you know that in the coming 10 years, you will be addressing water treatment. So by virtue of reality, you have to go ahead and build your capacity to have more engineers in that field. And if you know for the time being, you do not have that capacity, you need to plan it in such a way that in 5 years or 10 years from now, you'll have at least 5 or 10 engineers specialized in water treatment that allow you to address these challenges. Now, the same issue fits almost every discipline within the industry. It's only relates to your human plan for the future. If you know that you're going to address a specific area, you need to go ahead and build capacity, and this is national capacity. Now, this is in relation to human capital, and then you have to facilitate a culture for innovation. Allow people to submit ideas and come up with solutions openly, without filtering, without manipulation, and without stress, really. The third is really enhancing contribution to your corporate system, if you have, similar to the innovation system that I just shared with you. And fourth is that you capture the knowledge, the corporate knowledge, and create the business processes that allow you to do it at ease. Now again, there are 2 details that I can share with you, but for the sake of the time, I have to go ahead and skip so I can come up to the point that I want to reach about collaboration. And of course, you manage your network both with universities, with the research institute, with companies, nationally and internationally, so you can create wealth for the company. This is the 6th initiative that you make money out of them. You license it, you exploit the value of IP. Keep in mind, the IP that we have talked about earlier on this morning and maybe yesterday deals with the IP, intellectual property. And there was great focus on patents. And you've heard probably some of the keynote speaker, all of them, God bless their souls, they said that some good number of them are not of value. Now over here, we're talking about IP, but we're talking about IP that has value. We're talking about know-how that exists. We're talking about knowledge, expertise, and you convert them into explicit knowledge that create value for the corporation. Now, all these initiatives have to have an implementation strategy. For implementation strategy, you need 3 things: the awareness, the accountability, recognition. Awareness, that you allow everybody to enjoy the knowledge of the information. Now, and accountability relates to making sure that it is really measured to the correct parameters. And of course, recognition to allow people to appreciate the value. Now, this is the model that I talked to you about, the 3 T's, the 3 E's. You have your talent. If you do not capture it, you lose it. You have your teamwork and collaboration. If it's not structured, again, you lose it. If you join the teamwork and the talent and you develop technology, and be it you develop technology for money, for Saudi Aramco, it's energy, for money, it's good. You will be moving to this quadrant here. For us, as a company and for the kingdom, we have to be in this quadrant. Now, the question is, how can you do this? You team up with your talent and with your collaboration. You develop technologies. You push it to your stakeholder or energy in the case of Aramco. You can push the technology and the talent, develop technologies into the social part. But the beauty is that if you can convert these into companies that are sitting in Saudi Arabia, and this is the issue about technology transfer. You develop your knowledge, you structure it, and then you bring it into the market so it becomes sustainable, and it could have employment for Saudi Aramco, for Saudi Arabia. One thing I need to mention before I forget, that Saudi Aramco have created a company called Wa'ad. Maybe some of you have heard of it, with a budget of $200 million that supports any Saudi or expat to develop his own business. This is for small, medium business. And I invite you to go to the website, WAAD, just write WAAD, Google it, or write waad.net, and you'll see the details of the information. Now here I just want to summarize with some of the technologies that have been developed by Saudi Aramco, and it's licensed right now worldwide. We have smokeless flare that allows the purification of the flare. You see how it is before, how it is right now. It involves about 5 patents. There is the POPI, or the Pyrolytic Oil Productivity Index. It allows us to go ahead and drill at the rich oil zone. So we can tell the driller, as he drills, go left, right, top, bottom, until he positions that perforation in the right zone, and allows you to maximize the production of oil. And of course, there are so many of them, but I just want to go to the collaboration. Everything that I said at the beginning about human capital, relationship capital, deals with what we are doing currently with all universities within the kingdom. We have collaboration agreement with CACST, and my dear friends, Dr. Sami will share with you their views of the collaboration, if it allows. We have collaboration with King Saud University, we have collaboration with King Fahd University, and King Abdulaziz, and. We have collaboration with almost all universities within the kingdom to develop technologies and research areas that really suit Saudi Aramco application and hope. Now this is the model. You mobilize the talent, and you do it in collaboration with the university, and then you commercialize it nationally and internationally. Almost done, خلاص. And I will say goodbye with this. Our future is really to deal not only within the kingdom as much as even outside the kingdom. So what have we learned? This is what we have learned is this. IP, please remember it, the 3 T's and the 3 E's. Thank you very much.